In America, for the most part, we have been trained to view animation as a child's medium, or an art form for immature people. The characters we find in the vast majority of American animated films, while endearing, are often as two-dimensional as the animation cells they were drawn on, or the computer screens they were rendered on. There are obvious exceptions to this, but by and large, American animated films are produced for children and occasionally made accessible to adults. Japanese animation, on the other hand, is much more often aimed at a broader audience. Some of the highest grossing films of all time in Japan are anime. Looking specifically at the body of work of perhaps one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Hayao Miyazaki, we see that his films are definitely not made specifically for kids. His films are made for everyone, regardless of age. This is because they contain honest and thus universal depictions of human nature. Children and adults alike can identify with Kiki's coming into her own as a young woman, Chihiro's quest to save her parents and grow as a person, and even Jiro's dreams of flight. Miyazaki often throws his wide-eyed young characters into worlds that, while heightened and fantastic, mirror the moral complexity of the world that we all inhabit. This is the journey of Prince Ashitaka in my favorite film, Princess Mononoke. But unlike American animated films, there is no clear division in this duality. The film opens with Ashitaka facing a boar possessed by a demon, the literal embodiment of hate. Ashitaka is touched by the demon and thereafter bears its mark. The demon feeds on hate, which grants Ashitaka the ability to accomplish supernatural feats when surrounded by hate, but the mark of the demon is also killing him slowly. Ashitaka, a character so full of love and empathy, literally has hatred within him. And this is metaphorically true of all the characters in the film. They are filled simultaneously with love and hate. This means that the characters in the film are all capable of both good and evil. Because of this, there is no villain in the film, which is true of many of Miyazaki's films. Even the greedy and elusive Jiko isn't really the film's villain. Instead of a central antagonist who is a force of evil on an otherwise peaceful world, conflict arises in the world of Princess Mononoke as it does in ours. Communities competing over resources become blind to their similarities and focus only on past grievances. The characters express love for those around them, but many also harbor deep hatred for those that are operating against the interests of their community. The two characters who best represent this concept are San and Lady Eboshi. Both are admirable people that are cursed by hatred. Lady Eboshi created Irontown as a sanctuary for the downtrodden, lepers, prostitutes, and otherwise. She cares deeply for her community, and she knows that the only way for that community to survive, and even thrive, is to draw iron from the earth. This pursuit tragically comes at the detriment of the animals and the spirits of the forest. San was abandoned by her parents and raised by the wolves as one of their own. She has a great love and empathy for them and all the other beings that dwell in the forest. But because she sees herself as one of them, and because Irontown is directly causing the destruction of her home, this sets her in direct opposition to humanity in general, and Lady Eboshi specifically. San and Lady Eboshi share many of the same positive qualities: bravery, tenacity, compassion. What sets the two characters apart is not that either one is necessarily a bad person, but that they happen to fall on opposite sides of the core conflict of the tale. It is the conflict itself that is the central villain of Princess Mononoke. In this vein, Ashitaka's adventure does not end with the defeat of a villain and the prevailing of good in the world. It ends with the death of both the forest god and the destruction of Irontown. Unlike a Disney film, where the assumption that goodness is the natural state of the world is reinforced at the end of the story, Miyazaki recognizes that the dualities of life can never be truly resolved. Beyond Lady Eboshi and her followers, the Emperor and samurai clans still lord over the land. This ending is not hopeless, however. San and the other characters all draw valuable insight from surviving the conflict. They learn that while the world may never be wholly good, you have to attempt to live in harmony with both nature and your fellow man. In this way, Miyazaki teaches us that to ward off the demon of hate that dwells within us all, we must be ever vigilant in the pursuit of love. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. I was just playing Legend of Zelda on the Switch. We're not sponsored by them, but could use the money. Anyway, consider liking and subscribing if you were into this sort of thing. And yeah, anything to say here?
Just smash like.